About half of what you've heard about computer science being dead is completely true. The other half is costing people offers that they could have had. I'm going to draw the line between the two because I got 3 FANG offers in a market that people tell you is completely dead. And I'm not saying that to flex. I'm saying that because 2 years ago, I was the one doom scrolling at 2 a.m. looking at all of the CS's cooked memes. One of those offers that I ended up landing was a Meta internship paying $55 an hour. So before you switch majors or talk yourself out of applying, I'm going to tell you 4 things that people get wrong about this market and 1 thing that they get painfully right. Myth 1, AI writes the code now, so companies don't need new engineers. This is the big one, and on the surface, it sounds airtight. If AI can write code, then why do companies need more humans? Here's what that logic skips. When something gets cheaper and faster to produce, people don't buy less of it, they buy way more. When software gets easier and faster to produce, the exact same thing happens. Companies don't just sit back and build the same amount with fewer people. They get greedy. They start new projects that they never would have touched, chase markets that they never thought they could, and achieve more overall. The key thing here is that with all of these new undertakings, companies need people to own all of it. That's the part the fear misses. Somebody has to be accountable for what ships. Somebody has to decide what to build. Somebody has to catch something that's about to break in production. And somebody has to be there when the on-call pager goes off at 3 in the morning. A model doesn't get paged at 3 in the morning when something goes down. You do. And companies need more of that now, not less. The second myth is that there are no entry-level jobs anymore. I want to be careful here because this part has real truth mixed in. Entry-level did get harder. There's more applicants, there's a higher bar, there's less jobs to go around overall. That part isn't made up. And if you've been grinding applications with hearing nothing back, I'm not going to pretend like that hasn't happened. But harder and gone are 2 completely different words, and people keep swapping one for the other. A harder door is still a door, and I walked through that door multiple times this year, and I know many people who did the exact same. The ones getting stuck weren't unlucky. They just weren't adapting their system. The wall people describe isn't a wall, it's a filter, and filters have shapes that can be learned. Once you understand what actually moves a candidate to the top of the pile, it becomes a whole different ballgame. That gap between there's nothing out there and I hadn't figured the filter out yet is where most of the despair lives nowadays. Myth 3, even the experts say you don't need to learn how to code. You've probably seen that clip, some big tech CEO up on the stage telling students you probably don't need to code anymore. It goes viral once every few months, and after that happens, another wave of people start to give up. Here's the context that clip always drops. Learning to code was never about just memorizing syntax brainlessly. It was actually shorthand for learning how to break a larger problem into smaller parts. These smaller parts are what computers can solve now. The skill didn't get less valuable when the tools got better. It actually got more valuable because now one person can dictate an enormous amount of output compared to one person a few years ago. The people saying don't learn to code are not saying don't learn to think. They're just saying to focus on typing less. And they're right about that. The typing was never the hard part of the job. The thinking was. So when you take a soundbite that was built for a headline and treat it as career advice, you're handing your decision to a clip that was primed for retweets, not for you. The fourth myth is the one that falls apart the fastest. It's that the money's now gone in the field. I already told you that I've gotten multiple internship offers worth $50 an hour. The money hasn't gone anywhere. It's just gotten more scarce. What's actually happening is that the pay is splitting. Compensation for people who are genuinely good at their job is holding strong or climbing. This is because good judgment got scarcer relative to how much output companies want. The people who are watching their prospects shrink are the ones who bet on everything being average in a year where average got automated. That's not the money leaving. That's the money being pickier about who it goes to. And being good enough that they fight over you has been the answer in every single job in every single decade. Nothing about that is new. Now for the part that's actually true. Now here's the honest half, because I promised I wouldn't just cheer you up. One version of computer science really is dead, and it's not coming back. The version where you coast through your degree, you memorize enough LeetCode patterns to pass an interview, and you take a comfortable job, and you never really build anything on your own. That path used to actually lead somewhere. It doesn't anymore. You have to learn the underlying stuff now, like system design. If your plan was to do the minimum and get bailed out by a hot job market, the market cooled at the wrong time for you. But sit with that for a second, because it's not the tragedy that it sounds like. That version of CS was always the weakest. The people who got into this to build things and solve real problems and make something that didn't exist yesterday, those people are having the best time of their lives. The only thing that died is the free ride. The work is more open than it's ever been. So is computer science really cooked in 2026? The lazy one is. The real one is out there thriving, and the fear that you're feeling is mostly aimed at the wrong target. The jobs exist, the money exists. The door is definitely harder, but it's still open, and I have multiple offers to prove that the market is not cooked right now. The only people who actually got cooked are the ones who fully believe the headlines and quit without ever trying to actually beat them. Don't be that person over a clip that's designed to scare you. If you feel like that's you, go ahead and check out my last video on my advice to computer science majors. In my next video, I'm gonna break down the exact system I used to land my FANG offers in this market. I'm gonna talk about my resume and what I built and anything else that I did. If this video was the should I even bother, the next video is gonna be the here's precisely. Like and subscribe for more.